Friends, today let's solve all the problem based questions of communication systems in 2017 question paper. So this is first question. So what is the question? If a carrier is 100% modulated, so mu is given as 100% or mu is equal to 1, and AM wave is suppressed, then the percentage of power saving. So the saved power is simply the carrier divided by the total power. If you remember what is the power of AM wave, it is simply PC into 1 plus mu square by 2. So PC gets cancelled. It is simply 1 divided by 1 plus mu square. Mu is equal to 1. Therefore, 1 is, I'll substitute it. So I'll be getting 1 divided by 1 plus 1 by 2 is 3 by 2, or it is simply 2 by 3, which is 66% or 0.66 or 66 percentage. So remember the formula of total power. Next, so critical frequency in ionosphere is given, it is Nmax. Remember the formula, the critical frequency formula is given by Fc is equal to 9 into root Nmax. So here Nmax is given as 1 into 10 power 6. So it will be 9 into 10 power 3 is your answer, which is 9 kilohertz. Next question. So the wavelength of 100 megahertz electromagnetic wave propagating through a perfect non-magnetic dielectric with permittivity 9 is, so if you remember the wavelength formula, lambda is equal to C naught by F. This is for free space. However, if you observe, he has given there is a dielectric, therefore the lambda will be with the formula C by F into root epsilon R, because this is a dielectric. Now given F is equal to 100 megahertz, epsilon R is 9, and C, which is velocity of light, it is 3 into 10 power 8. Okay, if I substitute it, lambda will be 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second divided by F is 100 megahertz. I can write mega in terms of 10 power 8 into root over 9. So 3 and 3 gets cancelled. I will simply get lambda is equal to 1 meter. 1 meter is simply 100 centimeters. Next. So step index optical fiber core refractive index is given as 1.48 with core cladding difference is 0.1. Now what is the cladding refractive index? So the difference in refractive index is given by the formula refractive index of core minus refractive index of cladding divided by core. So here the core value is given as 1.48, and delta, this is the difference which I am telling, it is given as 0.01, and you are supposed to calculate the value of cladding. So if I substitute here, so 0.01 is equal to 1.48 minus mu divided by mu core is 1.48. So simply 1.48 into 0.01 is equal to 1.48 minus mu, or simply I can write mu is equal to 1.48 minus 1.48 into 0.01. So this will be simply 1.46. So see the answer, this is your answer. Next. So in a radar system, if the transmitted power is increased by 16 times, then what will happen to the detection range? So the range equation is given by under power 4 Pt into g square into lambda square into sigma divided by 4 pi whole cube into P minimum. Here Pt is transmission power, P minimum is minimum detectable signal power, lambda is transmitting wavelength, and sigma is target cross sectional area and G is your antenna gain. So what is he saying? It is increased by 16 times the transmitted power. So I can simply write R is proportional to under power 4 root Pt, or I can write R1 by R2 is Pt1 by Pt2 power 1 by 4. Now he is saying it is increased by 16 times, so Pt1 will be same. This is 16 times Pt1 power 1 by 4, or I can simply write R1 by R2 is equal to 1 by 2, or R2 is 2 times R1. Therefore it is simply doubled. So these are the problem questions in 2017 question paper. Now let's solve 2018 question paper, communication problems. So this is your problem. So if the modulation index of an AM wave is changed from 0 to 1, what is the effect on the transmitted power? So remember, we have the formula Pt is equal to Pc into 1 plus mu square by 2 in case of an AM wave. Here when your mu is 0, modulation index is 0, the total power will be Pc into 1 plus 0 by 2, which is total power will be simply Pc. Now suddenly when your modulation is increased to 1 or 100%, the Pt will be Pc into 1 plus 1 divided by 2, or which is 3 by 2 Pc or 1.5 Pc. So the value of power increased from 1 Pc to 1.5 Pc. So flatly there is an increase in 50 percentage of power when the mu is increased. So this is one problem which is from communications in 2018 paper. Next, let's solve the problem in 2019 ECET communication system problems. So this is your problem. So here you have a signal, calculate the minimum sampling rate to avoid aliasing when continuous time signal is given. Remember, the signal is to be compared with the standard signal. The standard signal is magnitude into cos omega mt. This is your signal given. If I compare here, my omega m is equal to 200 pi. Omega is generally 2 pi into fm, the signal value. So I can simply get the maximum frequency of a message signal is 100 Hertz. Now what is the sampling rate? It is simply 2 times fm, or 2 into 100, which is 200 Hertz. So here 200 Hertz is the answer. Next. So he is given two sinusoidal signals are simultaneously modulated with a carrier having modulation index mu is 0.3 as mu is 0.4. Now what is the effective modulation index? Mu1 and mu2. So there is a formula, mu is equal to mu1 square plus mu2 square plus so on. So whether there are how many number of signals, you have to square them and just add it and take a square root of them. So mu is simply 0.3 square plus 0.4 square. So this is 0.09 plus 0.16. So which is nothing but 0.25, which is 0.5. Remember this formula. So what is the value of carrier frequency in the following FM signal? Now what is the standard FM signal? S of t is AC into cos 2 pi fct plus beta into sin 2 pi fmt. This is a standard signal. Now compare it with the signal which is given in your question. So here 2 pi fc is nothing but 600. So therefore fc is equal to 6 by 2 pi, or fc is approximately equal to 105 hertz. So see, we are asked value of carrier frequency. Next, in a PCM signal, if the number of quantization levels are increased from 2 to 8, earlier I have told you, so the number of quantization levels n is 2 power n. So when your n is equal to 2 in the first case, so the bandwidth is 1 by 2 into n into fs. So simply as n is equal to 1, the first case the bandwidth will be half fs. In the next case, n is equal to 2 power n, as it is 8 can be written in the form of 2 power 3, so capital N will be 3. Now in this case the bandwidth is half into n into fs, or half into 3 into fs. Now if you observe these two, the bandwidth is multiplied by a factor of 3. So just simply observe bandwidth is tripled. So student has to remember bandwidth formula half n into fs, where this n is multiple power of number of quantization levels. Next, so you have 4 different independent signals. So given message, so you have here 4 message signals, 100, 200, 400 hertz. So the sampling rates will be 2 times multiplied, therefore fs, because fs is equal to 2 fm, so 200, 200, 400 and 800. So what is the total transmitting pulses rate? See, you have 100, 100, 200, 400. So I have to simply add them 200, 200, 400 and 800. So if I add all this, I will be getting 1600. So this is the total transmitted pulse rate, because you have to add them, because you are doing time division multiplexing. So next, with this all the problems in 2019 are completed. So let's go to the last question paper, which is 2020 question paper. So what is the maximum power efficiency of an AM modulator? So efficiency is given by the formula eta is equal to used power divided by total power. So this is PC into mu square by 2 divided by PC into 1 plus mu square by 2, or I can simply write mu square by 2 divided by 1 plus mu square by 2. Now what is he saying? Maximum efficiency of an AM. So if I take my condition as modulation index as 1, so efficiency will be 1 divided by 2 divided by 1 plus 1 divided by 2, which is 1/3, or I will have a 33% power, maximum power efficiency. Next, if the modulating frequency of a carrier wave varies from 700 Hz to 7 kilohertz, what is the AM bandwidth? So it is simply 2 times FM. However, in this case, FM is 7000 kilohertz. 7000 kilohertz is 7000 minus 7k is 7000 minus 700, which is 2 into 6300. So this is simply 12.6 kilohertz. Next, So in a super heterodyne receiver, if the intermediate frequency is IF is 455 kilohertz and it is tuned to a frequency of 1200, what is the image frequency? Remember, image frequency is given by the formula Fs plus 2 times IF. So here Fs is 1200 kilohertz and IF is 455. So it's simply 1200 kilohertz plus this will be 910 kilohertz, which is 2110 kilohertz. So a 10 kilowatt carrier is sinusoidal modulated by two carriers corresponding with modulation indices. So we have seen a similar formula in the earlier also. So we have mu1 is 30% is nothing but 30 by 100, which is 0.3. Now in the second, the modulation index is 0.4. Now what is the effective modulation index? It is square root of mu1 square plus mu2 square. This also we have discussed. So the same problem was given 0.3 square plus 0.4 square. This is simply mu will be 0.5. Now what is he asking? What is the total power? We know the total power formula is Pt is equal to Pc into 1 plus mu square by 2. So if I substitute it here, so Pt is equal to Pc is simply 10 kilowatt into 1 plus 0.5 square divided by 2. So this will be Pt is equal to 10k into 1 plus 0.25 divided by 2. Now this becomes 10k into 1 plus this is 0.125 or 10 into 1.125 or 11.25 kilowatts. So the answer here is this. Next. So here you have given x of t is this particular signal, and at what sampling frequency should the signal be done to avoid aliasing. So if you observe this, you will have your first frequency 2 pi into f of t, therefore the first signal is 1000 hertz. In this case, the second signal, message signal, is 2 pi into t, therefore I will be getting 660 hertz. Now if you observe both of them, you have your sampling frequency is 2 times fm, or the higher value 2 into 1000, which is 2000. So the answer in this case is 2000 hertz. Next. So what exactly is the value of 13 decibel per meter? So you have to remember the formula of megawatts, 10 p decibel meter by 10. So 10 power, here you have 13 by 10. So it is nothing but 10 power 1.3, which is 19.95 or around approximately 20 milliwatts. So 10 power, you have your decibel power given divided by 10. This is the formula. Next, if an antenna size is increased by 3.3 times, what will be the effect on radiated power? Remember, the power is proportional to the square of the length of antenna. This is a very important point. So PR1 by PR2 will be L1 by L2 whole square. Or I can simply write, I have L2 given as 3.3 times L1. Now if I substitute that here, PR1 by PR2 is equal to L1 by 3.3 into L2. So this gets cancelled, or I can write PR1 by PR2 is simply 1 by 3.3 square is 10.89, or I can write PR2 is 10.89 times PR1. So this is my answer. So next question, what is the front to back ratio? So front to back ratio is given by forward power divided by backward power. So in the question, it is given radiates 500 watts in north direction and 50 watts in south direction. Forward is 500 and backward is 50. If they get cancelled, I will be left with 10 and the units are in dB. So see this question. So here it is given, it is TE10 mode. Therefore student has to remember lambda wavelength is simply 2 times A. And it is also given the length of the product dimension is 4 centimeters. So 2 into 4 centimeter, or I will be getting 8 centimeter is your cutoff wavelength. So with this, I have completed all the problems in ESET question papers of 2017, 18, 19, 20 in relation with communication systems.